Hello everyone, welcome to the chapter Diversity in Living Organisms. We started this chapter with certain introduction and later we got to know the entire living organisms present on earth is classified into 5 kingdoms. Can you able to recall them? The kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animaliae, isn't it? And in the previous videos, we have studied the basic characteristics of these kingdoms. And now, let us study detailed classification of the kingdom Plantae. So here, the kingdom Plantae is again subdivided into certain divisions. Clear everybody? It is divided into 5 divisions, guys. Okay, so let us start studying about those 5 divisions or subgroups of the kingdom Plantae. Clear? First and foremost, I would like to mention the division's name here. Later we will discuss on what basis actually has been considered to divide the Plantae into the 5 subdivisions. Clear? First and foremost, this kingdom Plantae is subdivided into, Thallophyta. Thallophyta. And the second subdivision is Bryophyta. Bryophyta, very, very important subdivision. And the third one is Pteridophyta. Pteridophyta. And here the P is silent. We call it as Pteridophyta. And the next one is very, very important, Gymnosperms. Gymnosperms. And the last and final variety, Angiosperms. So these are the 5 subdivisions of the kingdom Plantae. Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. So we are going to study about the characteristics and nature of each and every subdivision. In this class, let us try to discuss about the 3 subdivisions, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta, right? And before we study these subdivisions characteristic, let us try to figure out on what basis the kingdom Plantae is subdivided into these divisions. Like, the entire living organisms were divided into 5 kingdoms. On what basis, guys? We studied that, isn't it? It is based on the cell structure, right? And the cell type, and later the mode of nutrition, right? Whether they can prepare their own food or do not prepare their own food. Whether they have cell wall or do not have cell wall. Whether they are prokaryotic or eukaryotic, right? So based on these characteristics, all living organisms were classified into 5 kingdoms. In a similar way, the kingdom Plantae is subdivided into these 5 divisions is based on the following points. Try to observe each and every point in detail. Clear? So what I would like to write here is kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae is subdivided based on following points. Okay, so I am going to list out the points one by one. The first and foremost, right, we consider whether a plant body is differentiated or not. So what do you mean by differentiated? Like whether the plant body has well defined root system or branches, shoot, etc. Right? Say many of the plants that are there on earth is actually do not have these parts. The plant is not divided into roots, shoots, branches, flower, leaves. Such parts will not be there in certain plants. And all these plants will come in one division, guys. Okay? Say the first point that have to be considered to divide the plantae into these 5 divisions is based on whether the plant body is differentiated or not. That means whether they have well defined body parts or not. Okay, so what I would like to write here is based on whether the plant body is differentiated or not. Differentiated or not. Okay, that means whether they have well defined body parts or not. Body parts of a plant is nothing but these leaves, shoots, branches, all these things. Body parts or not. Right? So this was the point that has been kept in a scientist's mind before they classify the plantae into 5 divisions. Okay, fine. And the second point was based on whether they have vascular bundles or not. Okay, whether they have vascular bundles or not. What do you mean by vascular bundles? Conducting tissues. We studied about xylem and phloem, isn't it? So xylem is the one which conducts water, phloem is the one which carries food, isn't it? So those are some specialized tissues. We will call them as vascular bundles. So if the plant has vascular bundles, it will come in one category. If the plants do not have vascular bundles, it will come in another categories. So this was one of the point the scientists kept in mind, based on which also they could classify the plantae into 5 divisions, right? And the next point is whether they in the sense the plants have seeds or not. Okay, and many of the plants do not bear seeds. All of them will come in one division. The plants which bear seeds have come in one division. Okay, again, if seed is there, whether the seed is closed in a fruit or not. Okay, so you can see in actually angiosperms, just think of the apple, right? So if you cut the apple, you will find the black seeds. Black color things are called seeds. Where the seeds are present, it is present within the fruit. Yes or no? Say in some of the plants, seeds are present inside a fruit. In some plants, seeds are not present in a fruit. Right? So this is also one point scientists kept in mind to classify plantae into the 5 subdivisions. Clear? So if the plants have seeds, then next point they considered is whether seeds are enclosed in fruit or not. Right? So based on these points, the scientists have classified plantae into these 5 subdivisions. The plants which do not have a body parts like leaves, stems and roots, when they don't have, they all come in a category Thallophyta actually. Right? So they do not have any plant parts actually, well differentiated parts. That is, they don't have a leaf, they don't have a stem, such plants will come under this Thallophyta, right? And in case of Bryophyta, you will actually find well-defined body parts. You will observe the leaf, you will observe the stem and everything will be there. But there will not be vascular bundles, okay? Specialized tissues which are helpful in carrying water as well as food, they are not present in the plants. So such plants are classified under, they will come under a division called Bryophyta, guys. Okay, and in case of pteridophytes, they have well defined body parts. They also have special conducting tissue like xylem and phloem, but the seeds, these seeds are not present. Okay, so there is no such thing called seed in a plant. So such plants will come under pteridophytes. Clear? And in case of gymnosperms, the plants have well defined body parts, they have conducting tissues also, they have seeds also, but the seeds are naked, guys. Okay, seeds are not present within a fruit actually. They are open, they are exposed very well into the atmosphere. So such plants whose seeds are open, whose seeds are exposed, are coming under a division called gymnosperms. Okay, and in case of angiosperms, the flowering plants, angiosperms are also called as flowering plants. Okay, the plants which bear a flower. Clear? And in this angiosperms, the plant body is well differentiated. You can clearly observe all parts. You can observe root, you can observe stem, you have leaves, you have flower, seeds are there, conducting tissues are there, and the seeds are present within a fruit, guys. There is so-called fruit here, right? Like the most of the plants we see around belong to a division called angiosperms. Right? The plants which have a flower is called angiosperms, well advanced type of a plants. Clear? So this is how, based on these points, actually the kingdom Plantae is divided into these 5 subdivisions. Clear? Got some basic idea how Plantae has divided into Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms? It is all based on these points. And now let us try to discuss about the characteristics of the division Thallophyta. Coming to the division Thallophyta, they are the basic variety of a plant kingdom, guys. Okay, and you don't find so-called roots, stem, leaf, such differentiated body parts you will never observe in these plants. Clear? And all of them will come under the division Thallophyta. So what you would mention the points as? The plant body here, the plant body do not have well differentiated body parts. Well differentiated body parts. Okay, very important point, the basic point. That means you don't have any roots, and you don't have any stem, and you don't have any leaf, right? So there are no body parts in a plant body. So such plants will come under this division. And all these are eukaryotic. Their cells are eukaryotic, guys. Okay, and they are autotrophic. What do you mean by autotrophic? The plants that can synthesize their own food. Plant itself is the living thing that can prepare its own food, right? So such living things are called autotrophic. So obviously this is a plant body. So it is autotrophic and it is eukaryotic. That means each and every organelle inside a cell has a membrane, distinct membrane. Clear? Fine. And the next and important point is they are mostly aquatic. Aquatic in the sense they live in water, right? Aquatic means live in water. Water plants, they all are water plants. Clear? And the next point is the plants of this division are called algae. Very important. The so-called algae means the plant body that is coming under Thallophyta. Okay, so all thallophytes are called as algae. Okay, are called algae. Clear? So these are the important points that you have to remember about the Thallophyta. And if you have to ask me an examples of Thallophyta, I would tell you the best example here is Spirogyra. Spirogyra. You know how does a Spirogyra looks like? You know, this is one cell. This is another cell. You know, this is a nucleus and this is a cytoplasm. So like that, many cells would be there, right? So this is how, see, if you look at this structure, where is a leaf, where is a root, and where is a stem, right? See, this is what a plant body looks like, guys. You know, so that's the reason I told you, they do not have well differentiated body parts. That means they do not have body parts like roots, stem, and leaf. Okay, so this is Spirogyra. And one more example is Cladophora. Cladophora, and you have Chara, okay, Chara also you can pronounce. You know, all these come under the division Thallophyta. Say if you have to understand the best examples under this division, you can observe the picture there. Coming to the plants of Thallophyta, the plants under Thallophyta is called as algae, like we have already discussed about this, right? So where are the algae are present? In a pond or in a river, right? Say this is a small pond. If you pick the water in this pond, you know, you will find a small organisms, isn't it? See, these are a small organisms, like, you know, these are living things actually, and these are a small plants which we call it as algae. You know, this is how the algae looks like in that pond water, guys. Clear? So you can clearly observe here. And you know, coming to the examples of algae, the first one is Spirogyra. You see the structure of Spirogyra. You know, you don't have any roots, you don't have any stem, or you don't have any leaves, isn't it? See, the structure can be unicellular or multicellular. Actually, Spirogyra is a multicellular. This is one cell, this is another cell, this is a third cell, you know. Looking at this structure, you can't even say that this is a plant, isn't it? Because there is no stem, no root, no leaves, nothing. But still, it is a very, very old, primitive type of a plant which belongs to a category Thallophyta, isn't it? So this is example of, you know, Spirogyra. This is Ultrox, okay, and this is what we call Cladophora. See this Cladophora? So where are the roots, where are the stem? Nothing, isn't it? So this also can be present in the pond, river, ocean, etc. So these are few examples of Thallophyta. So this is Chara plant. Guys, coming to the kingdom Bryophyta, you know, there is one important point that you have to remember here is they are called as amphibians of the plant kingdom. Amphibians of Plantae kingdom. Okay, what do you mean by amphibians? Amphibians are those organisms that can live in both water as well as land. Okay, say for example, frog is an amphibian. It can stay on a land and it can stay in water also, right? Crocodiles are amphibians. It can stay on a land and it can stay in water also, right? So any living things that can stay in both water as well as land is called amphibians, right? So first and foremost, you must try to understand the meaning of amphibians. Amphibians are those that live in both water and soil are called amphibians. That means the plants that come under Bryophyta can stay in both water as well as land also. Actually, they stay on land. but they need water also for their survival. Got to know? Say for example, these bryophytes have well differentiated body parts. That means they have a stem, they have a leaf, right? So the body parts are there in a plant, but they do not have vascular bundles. Clear, everybody? They do not have vascular bundles. That means there is no specialized tissue inside a plant body to carry water and food. So definitely the plant requires water for synthesizing their own food. So how do they get water? In case if they are staying on a land, imagine they need water and there is no tissue to carry water from roots to leaves, isn't it? Say they have to go into the water so that water can be absorbed by the leaf. Clear? So that's the reason sometimes they need water also. And also for the reproduction, guys. Okay? And the male plant, the female plant. Male plant produces male gamete. Okay? Say how does the reproduction normally takes place? Let me consider male plant and female plant. Female plant. Okay, say male plant produces male gamete. Gamete in the sense a specialized sex cell. Okay, this particular cell is responsible for reproduction. Okay, and in the same way, female plant produces, imagine, female gamete. Female gamete. Okay, and both of them combine, guys. Okay, when they combine, you get a new living cell that is called zygote. Okay, and this zygote later divides and it will become embryo, and this embryo develops into new plant. Okay, so this is what the basic idea about reproduction that happens in a plant I gave you, right? Say the male plant will give you male sex cell, that is male gamete. Female plant will give female gamete. When both of them combine, you get a new life, guys. A new cell will be formed with a new life, that is called zygote. Zygote divides and it becomes an embryo, and that embryo, when you put it in a soil, it develops into a new plant. Okay, and actually, in case of plants under bryophyta, what happens is the male gamete have to swim and come towards a female gamete. Okay, it should flow, it should swim and come to a female gamete to meet. And how does it swim? To swim, it needs water, isn't it? Say that is the reason water requirement is compulsory there for the plants under bryophyta to undergo reproduction. Clear? So they want water and they want land also for their survival. They live in water and they live in land also, right? So that's the reason the plants under this division is called amphibians of Plantae kingdom. Okay, fine. And the next point is they have well differentiated body parts. Okay, say the plant body is divided, like it is differentiated into stem and leaves, guys. You will find a prominent stem and a prominent leaves also, right? But one point try to remember, there are no vascular bundles. There are no vascular bundles. Okay, vascular bundles in the sense conducting tissues, isn't it? Say there are no specialized tissues to carry water as well as food. So that's the reason, they want to go under water also, because there is no such thing to carry water from roots to leaves. So they want water, so they live in both water as well as land for their survival and for their reproduction also. right? So that's the reason they are famously called as amphibians of plant kingdom. Clear? Fine. And the best examples here are mosses, that is Funaria. Funaria. You can observe the picture there. The plants that come under the kingdom Bryophyta. Say you can see that stem and leaves, right? But the very simple plant bodies. They are not too much complicated plant bodies. Simple plants that have a simple stem and a simple leaves. That's it, right? So this is all about Bryophyta. Clear? And now, and one more thing you can observe, all of them are under water. They need water because they need water for photosynthesis, and they need water for the reproduction also, because the male gamete has to swim and go towards the female gamete, right? So to swim they need water. So almost, most of the time they require water. So all are there under water actually in that picture. Clear? Fine. This is all about Bryophyta, and let us talk about Pteridophyta. Coming to the division Pteridophyta, here the plant body is nicely differentiated into roots, stem, as well as leaves and everything, right? Say what I would write here is plant body is differentiated into roots, stem and leaves. Clear? You have a perfect well-defined body parts. And later you have vascular bundles. What do you mean by vascular bundles? The specialized tissues that can carry water as well as food to various parts of the body are there inside a plant body. Okay. And the thing is, reproductive organs are hidden. They are not exposed to the open atmosphere. Clear? So usually if you see the plants around us, the flower, we see different colored flowers. Flower is a reproductive organ, guys. So inside a flower you have a male gamete and you have a female gamete. When both of them come together, a new zygote and then embryo is formed. That develops into a new plant, as I explained previously. Right? So here the reproductive organs, are hidden. They are not to be seen outside. Got to know? So this point is very, very special point under a division Pteridophyta. Clear? Fine. And later, embryo is naked. Embryo is naked. What do you mean by embryo, guys? This particular embryo later develops into new plant. Okay, such embryo is not in a protected body. It is kept open. Okay, embryo is naked. It is not closed in a seed or something. There is no such thing called seed and fruit here, right? Say usually in the angiosperms, like whatever plants we see around are much advanced, and angiosperms I told. So you will find a fruit. Inside a fruit you have a seed. Inside a seed you will actually find embryo, guys. Okay, and later that embryo is the one which develops into a new plant. Okay, see, in our modern plants, actually the embryo is highly protected, isn't it? Embryo is present in a seed. Seed is present in a fruit. Imagine how protected is the embryo of modern plants. But in case of pteridophytes, the embryo is naked, guys. It is not present in a seed. Okay, so no seed or fruit Okay, in pteridophytes. In pteridophytes. Fine. And usually, they have spores. They have spores, guys. Okay, this spores itself, it is what we call it as embryo. It is open, naked, I call, no, embryo itself we call it as spores. Okay, so where are these spores present? These spores are present in leaflets. Leaflets. Okay, what do you mean by leaflet, guys? And actually, if you see a leaf of pteridophyte, this is your main leaf. You have small leaves actually. Okay, it is not a simple leaf. It is not a simple leaf. Say these are called leaflets. These are called leaflets. And behind these leaflets, if you observe, you will have a small dot-like structures. These are called spores. These are called spores, guys. These spores only are nothing but embryo. That means this embryo, when falls on a ground, this develops into a new plant, new pteridophyte. Clear? So this is how it happens in case of pteridophyte. Now let us see the varieties of pteridophytes, and let us see where are the spores are present in our leaflets. These are called pteridophytes. You can see this plant very much bushy, isn't it? Observe the leaves of pteridophytes. The leaf is a compound leaf. That means, single leaf itself has many leaflets, isn't it? You can see many leaflets here. And if you see the backside portion of a leaf, you can see a small knob-like structures, isn't it? These are called spores. And these spores, once they become mature, they will fall on a ground. When they fall on a ground, reproduction occurs and a new pteridophytic plant can be grown, right? So these spores are responsible for the reproduction. That means spores involve in the generation of a new plant. So where are these spores are observed? Backside the leaf. Okay, so once the leaf becomes mature, quite big enough, you will observe this spores kind of structures. Clear? So this is all about pteridophytes. After we spoke about pteridophytes, let us speak about two important words and their meanings. Very, very important. The first one is cryptogams. And the second important word is phanerogams. Clear? Cryptogams and phanerogams. So what is the meaning of cryptogams and phanerogams? Before I tell the meaning, let me talk about something. The division Pteridophyta, division Bryophyta, and division Thallophyta can be called as cryptogams. So which are called as cryptogams? Plants of Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. Okay, Pteridophyta can be called as cryptogams. And here the plants of gymnosperms and angiosperms can be called as phanerogams. Okay, so here actually in case of cryptogams there is no seed, no fruit, and sometimes no flower also. Clear? Coming to the phanerogams, they have seed is present in fruit. Okay, the flower has converted into fruit normally, right? Say, and coming to the cryptogams, here the reproductory organs reproductive organs are hidden, guys. Okay, that means the male gamete and the female gametes are not exposed to the atmosphere. Got it? So the male gamete carrying thing and the female gamete carrying thing, both are actually hidden. They are not exposed to atmosphere. Just by looking at the plant, you cannot make out where are the reproductive organs. Okay, fine. So such plants are called as cryptogams. And also, and here the embryo is naked. Right? Embryo is not present inside a seed. It is straight away exposed to the atmosphere. Okay, fine. And here, what I can say is reproductive organs. Reproductive organs are exposed. Exposed. They are not hidden actually. And here, embryo is present inside a seed. Embryo is present in seed, guys. Okay, embryo is highly protected. Actually, embryo is present in seed. And now this phanerogams and again classified into gymnosperms and angiosperms actually. Okay, both of them have seed, but in gymnosperm, seed is not present inside a fruit. But in angiosperms, seed is present inside a fruit. That is the difference, guys. Very, very interesting. Okay, so both belong to phanerograms only, but depending on the nature of seed, you know, we divide phanerograms into gymnosperms and angiosperms. So, in my next class, we are going to discuss more details of the divisions gymnosperms and angiosperms. Till then, keep revising a concept. Take care and see you with the next class. Thank you.